Have you started to hunt for your Easter eggs as yet? If not, what are you waiting for? Yes, it's that time of year again, Easter, where family and friends from all over the island come together to see a good goat and crab race. More importantly, Easter celebrates the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead 3 days after he was crucified. I'm Davia Chambers, and Let's Talk Tobago starts now. In our top stories, our athletes take you to the 2016 Carifta Games, a look at the Alcohol and Drug Abuse Prevention Program's Drug Awareness Week, and later, we bring you highlights from the community meeting at Lowlands. These stories and more when Let's Talk Tobago continues.
9 days of fun in the sun. The Tobago Jazz Experience, April 16th to 24th, featuring David Rudder, Tree Canal, Third World, J. Cole, Arturo Tappin, Etienne Charles, and Grammy Award-winning artists Maxwell and Miss Lauryn Hill. For more info, visit www.tobagojazzexperience.com. The Tobago Jazz Experience is sponsored by the THA Division of Tourism, Flow, TDC, Carib, and Caribbean Airlines. The Tobago Jazz Experience is much more than music.
This new facility was opened on the 14th of November 2010. It is home to the annual goat racing, which began right here in Boku Village in 1925. This year will make 91 years the Goat Race Festival has been in existence. Our first story takes us to the Carifta Games, where 42 athletes will represent Trinidad and Tobago. This report gives some insights on the athletes from that group who are from this island. Have a look.
17-year-old octathlon competitor Curlin Ashby will be a first-timer at this year's Carifta Games. He's among the 15 Tobagonian athletes hoping to bring home gold in their events. Curlin says his qualification for the Games is fulfilling.
I am amazed, I am joyful, I am thankful because I always wanted to represent my country and be a big name in athletics.
At 16, Tyreek Husford is not a stranger to the Games. This will be his third time there. He goes to Grenada for the 45th edition of the Games as the returning boys under-18 javelin champion. Husford is hoping to better his Carifta record of 70.73 meters set last year.
This year, Carifta Challenge was a bit surprising to me, I surpassed the Carifta record with 71.52 meters. Quite exciting, knowing that I already surpassed the Carifta standard. Hopefully I could go out and even achieve more. My answer this year is to achieve over 75 meters, and I just hope that I go out there and do it to the best of my ability.
Another Carifta gold medalist is 18-year-old Chelsea James. This will be her 5th time at the Games. She hopes to break the national junior and Carifta records in shot put and discus. Chelsea is elated to be able to compete regionally for this island.
I feel very proud to represent Tobago, seeing that, most times, sorry to say, the Trinidad athletes are always highlighted more than us. I feel very proud.
The other athletes are Akani Hislop, Safia John, Asha James, Anya Keeley, Vandal Joseph, Isla Stanisclaus, Odell Joseph, Clarence Hannibal, Cornell Jacob, Franklin Stanisclaus, Ako Hislop, and Omari Benoit. Wade Franklin, one of the coaches for Trinidad and Tobago's 42 Carifta athletes, is confident the team will perform well.
I think we have a great chance because of the fact that we have some of the best showers. I am not afraid of Jamaica. A lot of people are afraid of Jamaicans and think that they will throw better than us, but I know we have great weapons here. So I believe that we'll do very good. Very good in the javelin, very good in the discus, and in the shot put.
The Division of Education, Youth Affairs and Sport supports the athletes' training to ensure they can be at their best to represent the country. I'm Omadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
The Goat Race Festival, which began almost 100 years ago, was a popular activity on Rose Hill, the village's recreational ground. With the help of government assistance, the current venue adjoining the Boku facilities became the home for goat racing. Now, Tobago has a new facility for children and adolescents with mental conditions. Here are the highlights. Take a look.
Children and adolescents on the island who need to be assessed and treated for any mental condition now have a permanent space to heal. The Child and Adolescent Center now has a new home at the Scarborough General Hospital's former compound on 4th Street, Scarborough.
TRHA, in consultation with the Division of Health and Social Services, recognized that we must have a different place for the children who are most needy of this service. What we see here today was not an easy task. There were a lot of negotiations as the building was earmarked for something else. So there were a lot of negotiations, a lot of appropriation of funding to make this happen. But we were fortunate enough to be able to have an understanding team in the Child and Adolescent Center who understood the challenges and who stuck with us throughout the entire process.
The center, which caters for children and teenagers between the ages of 2 and 17, now has even more specialists than before.
I know that for last few months it's only functioning partially. So we're opening back again, where we're going to deal with emotional, psychological, and behavior problems for the children and adolescent. So this center will have a child psychiatrist, a psychologist, occupational therapist, social workers, a speech therapist.
The center will work hand in hand with the Division of Education, Youth Affairs and Sport, as well as the Division of Health and Social Services. This will allow them to offer the best possible academic study, treatment, and follow-up for children and adolescents who need mental care.
The Child and Adolescent Center is a multidisciplinary team approach in dealing with children who are troubled or children who need any form of evaluation. It is not there to stigmatize the patient in any way. We are there to provide a service, a much needed service in our society. And as such, the TRHA will spare no expense in ensuring that the service continues and continues to grow.
The Child and Adolescent Center falls under the Department of Mental Health at the Tobago Regional Health Authority. I'm Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
The pioneers of goat racing are Samuel Callender, Jimmy Hackett and Ralph Macmillan, to name a few, but they've all passed on. In this next story, we are introduced to two initiatives livestock farmers are encouraged to adopt. Here are the highlights in this story.
Livestock genetics involves using foreign and local genetic material, in this case semen, for the reproduction of animals such as pigs, rabbits, goats, sheep and cattle. It is one of the initiatives farmers learnt about at a symposium entitled Improving Tobago's Livestock Through the Genetics Resource Center and Green Farm Technologies. The process will improve livestock breeding quality and increase production on the island.
The East West Incarnation has to do with, if you have 5 animals on the farm, we would come in, give them some medication, and those 5 animals will come and eat almost the same time. So we can impregnate all 5 animals at the same time.
Behind me here is the construction of the new Genetics Resource Center. It's about 50% complete and is expected to be finished by August. Ideally, what the Division of Agriculture, Marine Affairs, Marketing and the Environment wants is to provide farmers with sufficient genetic material for the development of their livestock.
To ensure that in years to come we have food production on a high note in Tobago because of this project, we are going to ensure that we would have established lineage of the animals. So we are trying to ensure that we have pigs that have lean back fat.
The Green Farm program is another initiative by the division. It will aid farmers in the proper construction of pens like these and in the installation of good waste management systems.
Many people would go into it and they build up a shack. I would even call it a pen. A nail-up gate, a galvanized door, some kind of shack, and they have pigs inside it. And I think it's time that we, as Tobago farmers, should move away from that. Move away from that type of farming and become more scientifically oriented as farmers.
Other topics included marketing, local sheep development, and funding. It is expected that local livestock farmers will improve their production and meet standards that are hygienic and sustainable. I'm Umadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
On the other side of the break, organizations that help people end their addictions. Stay with us. Let's Talk Tobago will be right back. Good Friday and Glorious Saturday were devoted to the marble pitching competition right here in Buku. Easter Sunday was the traditional Moravian Church Love Feast Day, and then Easter Monday was dedicated to horse racing. Next, we take a step back from the culture of Buku to pay attention to organizations which help people end their addictions. Here's more in this story.
Smoking cigarettes has damaged my skin. I have lots of wrinkles, and I look much older than I really am.
The harmful effects of tobacco. This is just one of the videos you'd have seen if you passed by the exhibitions for the Drug Awareness Week campaign. Visitors learned about the effects of marijuana, cocaine, energy drinks, and alcohol, other substances that have harmful effects on users, families, and the society. People also had access to substance abuse assessments and free counseling services.
And what we are finding is that people still are very misinformed. People have lots of different ideologies and live by some myths when it comes to substance abuse. Even the young people who are in school, because rather than taking the accurate information, they're going by the way, getting it off the block, sometimes getting it off the internet. That's not accurate. But what we want to do is provide the accurate information because it's needed, and also let people know that we don't only give information, but we have the programs and the people to give you support when you need it, in whatever area you would need it.
The Week of Drug Awareness activities is spearheaded by the Alcohol and Drug Abuse Prevention Program, ADAP,